talk about Kylian Mbappe if we can, Jules, because obviously he's not in the squad for these Nations League games, but there were reports that he was seen in a nightclub in Stockholm, Sweden, and those reports have not gone down too well in France. Is that the case?
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of controversy. I mean, I think, and Frank will agree, we've spoken almost as much during this international break of what happened off the field and on the field in the two games against Israel and Belgium, which is never a good thing, really, and especially when it's about Mbappe, and especially when he's your captain, your best player, arguably the best player in the world as well. So he was not called up because he was not fully fit. That's the explanation that Deschamps gave. 2 days later, he was starting for Real Madrid against Villarreal. So either you are injured and you can't play football, full stop, for your club, for your country, with anybody really, or you can play and you can then be called up for the national team. That plus the fact that he went to Stockholm because he had 3 days off from Real Madrid and he could do whatever he wants. This is his private life. I've got no issue with him going with his friends to Stockholm for partying, dinner. It's a lovely city. They're lovely people, the Swedes. I've got no issue with that. It's on the day of the game. It doesn't matter so much to me, but clearly it seems to matter to a lot of people back home. So maybe he should have been a bit more careful. Considering the controversy of his call-up, non-call-up, maybe he should have known better and stayed in Madrid when he had those days off. And don't go out like he did. But again, I've got no issue with it personally, but it seemed that a lot of people back home had.
Mario, you were a captain. What would you have done in a situation like this? Would you have stayed back in Madrid if that's where your club was and not been going out in Sweden, night clubbing? Or do you think it is okay to have that free time?
No, I think as players, I mean, like especially when I was playing, you know, with let's say when I started my career in England with Frank. You go out. I think as an individual, you must live a life, because I think everybody lives a life. We just have to be smart about it. And I think for him, you understand, he is now, you know, like Jules said, one of the best players in the world at the moment. So the highlight is going to be on him. He knows that. I think the only thing I could only say about this, because I would not take away that he can go and do what he wants in his free time. Because imagine now, I'm going to control his free time too. Then I might as well put the kid in jail if he's not playing football. No, allow him to live. But the only thing I would say to him, be smart about it. You understand? Don't put yourself in front of the limelight when you know that everybody's going to watch you. Just be a bit more clever, and because there are enough players that are doing this, and there's enough players that will do it after you. But they just do it in a different way. You have to do it too. Be clever, do your certain movements, and because when France needs you, when things don't go well, they're going to look at you at the things that you're not doing. And this is one of those things, and you don't want that to happen. And I don't think he should be creating these kind of stories in his life.
Let me go to you, Frank, because obviously a lot of the controversy, as Jules was talking about, is a lot of the criticism is coming in the fact that he's not available for these games for France, which, by the way, they won both of them. But he is available for Real Madrid at the moment. Where do you stand on it?
I'm fine with that, because I think that he wasn't ready to play an international game. Whatever it was against, whether it was be against Israel or tonight against Belgium, I think it's not really a problem. He has to go back to his best. We know that he's been struggling. He scored goal with Real Madrid, but I would say that personally I wasn't really happy with his performances. So I'd rather see him, you know, taking care of himself and being more prepared for his club, and then come back with the national team at his best. Then the fact that he goes to Stockholm, and the fact that it's been reported that he was in the nightclub while his team was playing. I didn't know nightclub were opening that early in Sweden. And 9:45 was the game in Europe. So that was stupid to say that. He has, as Jules mentioned, he had 3 days off. The club decided to give him 3 days off. Sometimes just to change your mind, to change your spirit, is better than anything else, any training session. So if they decided that the coach is okay, the club who pays him is okay, why are you trying to spy him and judge him when it's none of your business?
Yeah.
I have to tell you something. I remember being injured, being in London. I recall Ruud Gullit, he was my coach. And I called him to say, Ruud, how was the game in Blackburn? He said, well, you know, we drew, I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. By the way, lovely boy, how are you doing? I said, well, you know, I mean, I'm okay, but I feel frustrated because I'm injured. And he said, what are you doing tonight? He said, well, I'm staying home. You know, my coach won't be happy if I'm going out. He said, well, your coach says to you, 9 p.m. we go to the restaurant, and after we have a drink in a nightclub.
Is he? Yeah, exactly.
Another time, another story.
I totally agree with him. You know why? Because my first call up for Holland, I was in a nightclub. My phone rings. I pick up the phone. I say, Coach, 1 second. I go outside. He say, Mary, it's Louis van Gaal. I just want to congratulate you for being selected for the Holland national team. What am I going to say to my coach now? Oh, sorry, coach. I was not in a nightclub. You heard the music, but it was actually my bedroom. No, I can do what I want. My game is finished. I want to live a life. I'm out in London, the city that everybody wants to see. Okay, later on, when I'm out and I have to recover and take care of my body, I will. But if I don't have to do that, let me live my life, please.
This is what I've learned today. Neither Frank nor Mario are getting to the club before midnight. That's what's happening. They're not getting to the club before midnight.
Where are you on it? He knows what's going to happen if he's spotted out, given who he is and what he is to this French team.
Absolutely, he knows. And by the way, it's not just specific to the French national team. Because let me just say, there is some rumblings right now around Kylian Mbappe in Madrid, that he hasn't been exactly what they thought he was going to be. Mm-hmm. So as they come back from the international break and he's not flying or he's not scoring goal and Real Madrid is not winning games and El Clásico is coming up, they're going to go back to the, hey, those 2 days in which you could have been working on your own or working on yourself or resting or getting ready for what's ahead, you were in Stockholm. So the pressure is not only going to come from France, it's also going to come from his day-to-day job at Real Madrid. What I would say is, yes, he is free to do whatever he wants. But my advice to him would be, in a situation like this, where there's already a whole lot of eyes on you because of the controversy surrounding the call-up, maybe you bring the party to you. You don't have to go to the party. You bring the party to you. And I'm sure that he has the resources available to make that happen. And nobody would be taking pictures. No, yeah, you leave your phone at the entrance. Here we go. The party is here.
Like you've been one of these.
No. I'm just saying. You don't have to go and look and search for the party. You can bring the party to you.
Okay. Yeah, and we know there are clubs in Madrid where there are little rooms where you can bring the party to you.
Wait, you don't have to go out to the club in Madrid. You can bring the party.
You can, no, they'll look after you. They'll look after you.